Hackers may be stealing files from your Linux servers. To capture them in action, first we can capture the network traffic, and then we'll see various ways in which they can steal your data. Let's capture the network traffic first. To capture the network traffic on your Linux server, it's quite straightforward. First, you need to know the device name, the network card name. You can do that with the command IPAS. So with this command, it will list your network devices. In this case, you'll see the first device, a loopback device. You can ignore that, this is a standard device. And then you'll see another device here, and it has this specific name and this internet address. So we'll be scanning for network traffic on this network device. And to do that, we type the command sudo. So we do it as administrator, TCP dump -i, the name of the network device, of the interface. So we simply copy that. Then we write it into a file that stores all the data. So let's say capture.pcap. So this is the command we'll run, and it will start capturing network traffic. So if I press enter, it is now capturing network traffic on the Linux server. We can, for example, try to generate some network traffic. Let's say we ping this computer. So we run the ping command, and we just let it run. So it's generating messages to send to this Linux server, and this server should be capturing the network traffic. And let's say we stop this. Then if we list the files and folders, we have that network capture. We can now retap network capture with a tool like Wireshark, or if you're in the command line, you can use a tool like T-Shark. So T-Shark is the command line version of Wireshark, -r, and then the name of the file. So if we enlarge this, you'll see we captured the network traffic. Yeah, we can close this and make this larger. And you'll see various network traffic here that we captured. And in here, if we do a filter, we send say grep ICMP, we did ping traffic. And you'll see we captured some ping traffic, so the echo ping replies from this address to this network address. So with the command TCP dump, as an administrator, as sudo, specify your network device and then where to write it, you can generate such a pcap device for your Linux computer, and then you can inspect all of the network traffic on your Linux computer in a tool like T-Sharp or Wireshark, which is more graphical and has more options. Hackers may be stealing files directly from your Linux server. Here's how to spot it with Wireshark. We'll be using these pcap files. Pcap is a capture file. You can capture data, network traffic on Linux, and you can then open it in a program like Wireshark. You'll see here .pcap. So if we open that capture file, you'll see all network traffic of that Linux server. You'll see the source address, where it came from, destination address, where the network traffic went to, and also the type of traffic, the protocol. So there's a protocol for DNS, for domain names into network addresses. You'll see HTTP that you used here on YouTube to go to certain videos. So get slash will be open the slash page. And you can find all kind of protocols here. Now we'll start with FTP, one of the most simple and oldest ways hackers could steal data from your server. So to do that, we'll find one FTP entry here. We right click on it, apply as filter, and then click selected. And now we only have the FTP traffic. You'll see the source destination and also what's going on. Now to see this better, we can do a right click and then we click follow TCP stream. And now we can see the user logged in with this username and passwords. We'll see it's just plain text with FTP. And then they uploaded confidential backup zip into that FTP server. So that could be from our server into another server, into another computer, where they simply uploaded a zip file of all the confidential data. So with a tool like Wireshark, you can inspect network traffic and find out about such things. FTP is old, but it's still widely used today. You see here 3 million computers all around the world are still using FTP. And you'll see these are the welcome messages of the servers running on Showdown website where we can explore them. See in various countries they are still widely using FTP, typically on the communication line 21, which you'll see sometimes they use non-standard ports. So FTP is an older protocol, but it's still widely used, as you see here. Around 4 million computers are still using FTP, transfer things in plain text. That's why you can read things like passwords and uploads and so on directly from the network hub. So if we filter, so we say ftp.request.command, and then search for the command pass, we will find all of the users that logged in, all their passwords. So if we press enter here, we'll see in this case one user logged in and we directly see the password. Now in the same way, we can search for uploads of any users over FTP. We simply change this to stor. This is the command to upload files on FTP. And you'll see that confidential backup file has been uploaded. So with FTP, you can easily filter things. And in this case, we use that ftp.request.command directly in this search bar here. In Wireshark, you can also filter on the source address, so which network device is it coming from. You can do that here in this little search bar and type ip.src is equal, notice these double equality signs, and then the network address you want to filter on. For example, 10.20.0.10 that we see as the first result here. And then it only shows the network traffic from that specific internet address. So you can filter for any address. So let's say we pick another one. We can say ip.src or the source address. And then, for example, let's pick this one. So 203.0.113.196. And you'll see it filters for that specific network address. And in this case, we'll see also that this user has logged in over the FTP. So this was the user that also transferred the file. You see here the same data again. Sometimes hackers steal data using the HTTP protocol instead. So you'll see here the protocol HTTP, and they did various things here. So a lot of GET requests where they simply get a website. And we scroll down, you see also we had the posts. So in HTTP, a GET command gets data from the server, and a POST command sends data to the server. You see here they post to /upload. If we follow this trail, we can right-click, click follow HTTP stream. We can see some information. So they were posting ID and name and email. So let's remove this filter. See there's some more GET requests. Here there's another post. Let's follow this trail. And you'll see we got some username as content that was posted, so sensitive data. And take a further look. There's another post command here. Oh, we could take a look, follow the HTTP stream. Another user data is posted to the external site here. So with when there's a hacker on your system, they might transfer data using different protocols. So we saw previously in this video FTP, but they might as well use HTTP protocol. And you can see here also on the data field, they sent some data here, length 26, and another post request where they were sending data. So with Wireshark, you can capture those kind of traffic on your Linux server and filter and find out if any data is being transferred out of your server. A hacker can steal data with a command even as simple as ping. So with ping, you can check any websites. So it's say google.com and it replies that it's online or offline. So the underlying protocol for that is ICMP. We close this, you'll see on this network traffic captured on the server, we have IMCP protocol. So that's the ping command protocol. And even with something as simple as that, hackers can transfer data to their own servers. So let's filter on this ICMP protocol. You'll see there's some web data there, but we'll focus on the ping data. So we are going to follow this. So we say apply as filter, select it, and now we only have the ICMP traffic, so the ping traffic. And you'll see just by the looks of this, this looks quite regular. However, when we look further in the data, you'll see this double is symbol. So this looks like it's encoded in base 64, an encoding to convert data into some encoded data, which they then can use to transfer data. So let's say we copy this data. So we go to the raw packet data, right click, copy, and then I'm going to copy it as a base 64 string just to inspect. Then we head over to CyberChef and put it in the inputs, and we'll decode it twice from base 64 because it seems this is in base 64 format. And then you'll see here we got some what seems like a little password. So let's do that with another package. So the destination here, we'll keep the same destination. Let's say we pick this one, and then we select the raw packet data, right click, copy as a base 64 string. We paste it again, and you'll see this one looks gibberish. So let's go for the next package. Raw packet data, copy as a base 64 string. We paste it in. And you'll see if we make sure not to remove any data, and we'll find here a username and a password. So obviously it's transferring data with ICMP. Let's try the next one. We right click, copy, base64. And it's another username and password combination. So given ICMP protocol, even with something as simple as ping or ICMP, which is equivalent of ping, it can be that a hacker is transferring data, and often they will use base64 encoding, which looks like this, when you have some is symbol at the end, or a double is symbol. And if we, for example, take the first one we found, we'll see this double equality symbol. So this is a base64 string, it's an encoding, and anything can be base64 encoded. For example, if we have some data here, let's say hello world, and you'll see the base64, we can get the base64 equivalent, which is this string. So if you see this in your network traffic, you might think it's normal, but it could be base64 encoded and actually be some other message, in this case, hello world. So even with something as simple as the ICMP protocol, the ping protocol, it can be a hacker is transferring large amounts of data. So it is not limited to FTP, HTTP. Any protocol can be used to transfer data out of your server.